What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today I'm bringing you my full review of the Sencut Bronte. Missed out on this one last year, at least I think it dropped last year, but I did want to go ahead and check this budget banger out. So what we'll be doing today is going through the knife specs. We'll do some size comparisons, and then we'll go ahead and jump into my thoughts and impressions of this particular knife. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the Sencut Bronte has a 3.38 inch 9CR 18 MOV blade, 4.49 inch handles. These have the black micarta. Overall length is 7.87 inches and claimed weight on the website is 2.94 ounces. Let's go ahead and grab the scale, bring that over and verify the weight. So claim weight 2.94. It could be that it's a little bit higher, causing it to draw a 3 on the scale. Not a big deal as far as the difference there. Let's go ahead and run through the size comparisons, and then we'll jump into my thoughts and impressions on the knife. First, we'll bring out the Demco AD 20.5. As you can see here, the Bronte is just a little bit longer and more slender in profile for the most part. The blade starts to pick up a little bit towards the end. Then we'll bring out the Spyderco Shaman. The Shaman's going to be a bigger overall knife, trying to line those pivots up, and it's going to have more girth and presence to it. Let's move these two out of the way and grab a couple more for size comparisons. We're bringing out the Benchmade Bug Out, which I think is pretty well known for the most part. As you can see, the Bronte a little bit longer and just a little bit more skinny again in profile. And then the Hogue K320 for SIG knives, looking like the Hogue is just a touch longer. It's really close in handle length. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. And just a little touch longer on the blade length. Let me move these two out of the way, and we'll bring in a couple of budget knives for comparison. Going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to bring out the Civivi Praxis, which is going to be much larger, and then we'll bring out the Vosteed Raccoon, which is just going to be a little bit smaller. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go through thickness profile so you can get an idea how thin or thick the knife is, and then let me switch hands again and then we'll go ahead and jump into the thoughts and impressions. So you can see pretty even with the Vosteed Raccoon. We'll compare it to the Bug Out. You can see the Bug Out is thinner, and then we will bring out the Shaman so you have a variety of size references, and you can see the Shaman just a Is it just a touch thicker? Actually, I'm going to call that even. That looks pretty even, right? So I didn't get a chance to check out the Bronte last year, and I'm kind of glad that I did grab it. I had a hard time finding the 9CR 18 MOV under this lighting last time. Trying to see, and I don't think I'm going to be able to find it again under this lighting here. I'm trying to catch a reflection to see if it'll show. But I did look up to confirm 9CR 18 MOV, which is a great kitchen grade steel, going to be stainless, going to have okay edge retention. It's going to be good. It's not going to be the best, and it's not going to be the worst. And it is fairly tough for a budget steel. Beautiful stone wash finish on here. It has the fuller for the reverse flick, nice and thin profile. This thing slices really nicely. It came with a good edge from the factory too. Not super laid back. I want to say this is probably like around 25 degrees per side. Hard to tell looking at it by the naked eye though. Nice lockup here, looking at around 20% lockup. Good access to the lock bar, so you can get to that really easy, and it has smooth action. The detent's a little light. I did tune it up a little bit because I've done so many of these. I didn't want to just do a complete tune-up on this, but I will do the disassembly for this a little bit later. So if you're interested in that, make sure you're subscribed. This is what I would refer to as the top flipper, because like a lighter, you're going to flip it from the top, but it also has the jimping to where you can kind of start in the front. So you can do most of the tricks. You do have to have good strength in hand to kind of be able to do it that way, because it does feel like the detent is a little stronger for the front flip and then a little on the weak side for that side flick. And that's just me giving it a light flick out. Now, if you're holding it and you give it any amount of effort, it almost will break it all the way, but you really have to give it the beans in order to deploy it all the way. Ergonomics on this are going to be really neutral. This basically looks like a USB stick with a blade on the end. Very, very neutral, straight lines. It has a little bit of chamfering around the edges on the flat scales to help with the comfort. The pocket clip is okay too. I feel that it's poking, but it's not a super hot spot. It is a reversible deep carry pocket clip. Really nice. It has a standoff and the lanyard barrel on the back. So I'm not quite sure if this is to keep it from moving around too much when the knife is closed, or why it has those two pins there. I feel like this one's too far back. I don't know if the lanyard is to keep it from moving around too much. I'm not really sure. And then it has the standoff here. That's part of the pocket clip, and the front screw for the scale. Stone washed pocket clip to match the finish on the blade. I kind of wish they would have just done that with the pivot as well. I think that would have been a really, really nice touch. Branding's not too bad on this, and overall I think this is a pretty decent knife, especially considering it's unique in the fact that it's not unique, because it just has like I said, a USB charging stick is what I think of when I look at this. So totally flat scales, absolutely nothing special going on here, but again, it's going to be comfortable for whatever type of task you're using it for. You're going to be able to manipulate the hand position in any way, shape, or form. But then it does have this reverse tanto, sheep's footy type blade. Usually the reverse tanto is kind of straight through, but it has like almost the sheep's foot curve to it, and then it has a little bit of the clip point here. So it's a very unique blade shape, and again, very thin for slicing and cutting, which is cool. And if you like front flippers, or if you don't know if you like front flippers and you don't mind spending $44, this is a great way to learn if you do, because I think personally top flippers are a lot easier to manipulate than true front flippers. See that? It's definitely meant to be rolled on the top, and it's definitely meant to work really well with the reach around. It's a little bit more challenging to use the index finger trick. And then again, if you don't, you have that reverse fuller, which is really good for flicking. So you at least have some fidget factor with this knife. Overall, very interesting design, but at $43 today, there's a lot of competition out there for this knife, starting with, if you don't like the stick and you like a bigger knife, I'm going to bring that Praxis out here, which is the reason that I had it out here earlier. You're going to have this knife coming in around the same price for the entry-level model, and I think it comes with G10. I'm not sure if there's micarta available on the Praxis. I'm pretty sure it's just G10, and then you get the same blade steel, which is the 9CR18 MOV, which is a great budget steel, and then you still get a very thin, slicey knife. So as you can see here, really tall, flat grind, goes almost the full extent of the blade, so it's going to be really slicey, so it's going to handle all of your cutting tasks. But then if you like something smaller, there is also one of my favorite knives from Sencut is going to be the Sencut Saxy. I really like that knife. I know there's been some comments here recently where people are feeling like button locks are kind of a craze or a fad, but any Civivi button lock that I have tested, I tested the Saxy, which is the Sencut. I tested the Watugo, which is a Sencut. I tested the Altus, the Conspirator, the Cogent. None of them would break loose with the spine whack test. So I feel like they have their button locks very well tuned in. I also tested, I haven't posted it yet, I don't think, as of this video, but I also have the Elementum 2 button lock, which I did test, locked up solid. So those locks work really well from what I'm seeing from Civivi on those tests. Hit or miss with Kaiser. I feel like Kaiser, the majority of the ones that I tested worked okay, but there were some examples where it did break loose. And then of course the Vodsteed that I had out here earlier did break loose. Those springs have not come in as of this video for me to test to see if the larger spring would remedy that problem or not. But ultimately, I think if you really like this design and you like 9CR18 MOV versus D2 because they have D2 steel knives out there as well. The Watuga has the D2 on it. You're going to get better edge retention out of the D2. You're going to get better toughness, ease of sharpening, and corrosive resistant at a higher level on the 9CR18 MOV. And then again, I didn't mention this, but this is on phosphor bronze washers, which is at this price point is really good. And the micarta on here is really well done. I like the micarta, feels nice and grippy. I think it looks good. And I think the longer you have it, the more it will patina. And I think that adds to the look. So if you like this knife at this price, it will be linked down for you for the Amazon affiliate link down below. Get that pretty quick in the mail. Pretty cool little knife. Is it my style? No, it's not my style, but I think it is cool and I'm glad that I got to check it out. It is a very slicey knife. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, leave a like. Consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed, and thanks to everyone out there that is subscribed, leaving the likes and the comments for the videos. I appreciate that you do that. You guys rock. I hope you have a fantastic week, and until next time, peace.